Today we're going to focus on the difference between ser and estar. Both of these verbs in Spanish mean to be. So when do we use each one? With ser, we can use the acronym doctor to remember when to use it. So we use it when we're talking about the date, any occupation, a characteristic. So that would be a description. So he's tall. A time, when you're telling the time. Origin, so where someone's from. De donde eres. Eres is a form from ser. Relation. Es mi madre. She's my mother. Estar, on the other hand, we can use the acronym place. So we can use it to talk about position, location, action, condition, and emotion. So in this sense, estar is more of a temporary characteristic and ser is more permanent. So with estar, the easiest way to remember it is to think about position, location. So anything to do with where something is, we use estar. So ¿dónde estás? Where are you? Takes estar. Okay, the same with the action. So if it's a part of the present progressive tense, estoy comiendo, I am eating. Estoy bebiendo, I am drinking. We use estar in this instance. And for any sort of emotion, estoy feliz, I am happy. ¿Cómo estás? How are you? We use estar. Okay, so let's have a look in more detail. So the verb ser is irregular. How do we conjugate it? We conjugate it into the subject pronouns that we know. So we've got yo, which is I am. So yo soy. Tú, you, eres. So you are. So yo soy, tú eres. Él, ella, usted. So you've got he, she, él, he, ella, she, usted is the you formal singular. Is also for it as well. So you can say is, it is fantastic, es fantástico. Nosotros is the we form. So somos. Vosotros is you plural. So it's the same as eres, but if it's more than one person, so let's say if I was addressing a class, so the teacher addresses the class, we'd use vosotros because there's more than one person. So plural, sois. And then ellos, ellas, ustedes, so that's they, masculine, they, feminine, and they, you, plural, or you, plural. Ustedes, so this is basically the formal way to say you, to address somebody that's of higher respect. And then this is the plural, so if there's more than one. So you've got son. So what I've done is I've got an example here of the verb comer, which is a regular ER verb, because in Spanish, remember, we have three types of verb, AR, ER, and IR, which are explained in other videos. So this is an ER verb, but it doesn't follow the rules, because the genuine rules would be we add o, es, hemos, es, en, and that would be the conjugation of the regular ER present tense. As you can see, ser doesn't follow the rule. It's soy, eres, es, somos, sois, son. So this just needs to be memorized by heart. So every night before you go to sleep, read it, read it, read it. Every day, read it, memorize it. Soy, eres, es, somos, sois, son. So you can say it just like that. So when do we use ser? Okay, ser, as we said, can be used for nationality, so for an origin. So soy inglés, I am English, or soy inglesa, if we were talking about a girl that was English. Soy española. Okay, so for any sort of nationality, we use ser. Obviously, soy is the I form of ser, the conjugation which we just saw. So let's look at this one. Where are you from? So, ¿de dónde eres? So, eres we know is the tú form. Tú eres. So, where are you from? Soy de Inglaterra y soy inglesa. So, soy is I am in the ser, conjugation of the verb ser. So, I am from England and I am English. We also use it for professions, okay? So, for any occupation, any job, we use ser. So, for example, mi madre es médica. My mother is a doctor. Mi hermano es profesor. My brother is a teacher. And this is important because here, this is the he, she form, yeah? So it's él, ella, usted es. Yo soy, tú eres, él, ella, usted es. Nosotros somos, vosotros sois, ellos, ellas, Ustedes son. So here you have to use es because it's the he, she form. Okay? The date. Very important. ¿Qué día es hoy? Hoy es el 31 de julio. So any sort of day, we have to use ser. So you can see ser is used here. ¿Qué día es? And hoy es. And that is the conjugation in the he, she, it, you form, you formal of ser. And then the time. Time is the same, similar to the date. So, ¿qué hora es? Okay, so what time is it? Son las 11:30. We use, here we've got es, and here we've got the they form of the said conjugation, which is son, las 11:30, because las 11 is plural. So we can't say es, we have to use son here because it has to match. And then characteristics of people or things. So you could say, ¿cómo eres? So what do you look like? Soy alta y llevo gafas. So you've got here, soy, I am tall, y llevo gafas, okay? So remember, so said we use for nationality, where you're from, professions, the date, the time, and characteristics of people or things, okay? So you won't go wrong if you remember that. Just to recap, you can also use it for religious or political affiliation. So talking about your religion, you can use said. But what something is made of. So you could say, for example, la mesa, which is the table, es de madera. We're using ser here, and we're saying the table is made of wood. Okay, so you can use it for that. Possession, okay, anything that it belongs to somebody. So es el libro, for example, de Juan. Es el libro de Juan. This is, oh, it's Juan's book. Okay, so we're using ser here, es, because obviously el libro is singular, so we have to use es here. Relationship of one person to another. So es, for example, mi madre, it's my mother. We use es, we use ser, that's from the verb ser, and when event is taking place. Okay, so they're the main uses of ser. So let's look at the verb estar. This is a really quick run through. So estar, obviously we know is the infinitive. Here it is. Estar means to be. We conjugate it as yo estoy, I am, tú estás, you are, él, ella, usted está, so he, she is, or you formal are. Nosotros, nosotros estamos. The difference here is nosotros is if everybody was masculine, or if there was maybe one female and everybody else was male. If there's a male present, you have to use nosotros. If it's just girls or females, you use nosotras. So nosotros, nosotros estamos, we are. The same with this, vosotros, vosotros estáis, you all are. Ellos, ellas, ustedes están, they are or you all are. Okay? And just to note that the vosotros form is used in Spain for the informal plural you. In Latin America, ustedes is the plural you, both formally and informally. I would recommend learning all of them, just so you know. So let's look at estar. So yo estoy, tú estás, él, ella, usted está, nosotros estamos, vosotros estáis, ellos, ellas, ustedes están. So we have, in Spanish, you can drop these. They're not compulsory to say. It's just for the learning process. But you say estoy, estás, está, estamos, estáis, están. We know which person it belongs to. That's why you can drop these if you like, because we know that estamos has to be we, estoy has to be I. If you want to add extra emphasis, you can say yo estoy to add the emphasis that you're talking about yourself. So let's look at an example of an AR verb. So the regular verb here, hablar. I'm just going to delete that. Perfect. So you can see we've got the endings o, as, a, amos, as, a. If you want to revise the present tense, there is another video on that. Okay. They simple present tense AR ending regular verbs. You can see that it pretty much follows this rule, but it has the accent. Okay, so you must add the accent when you're writing and you must pronounce it. So rather than it being estás, it's estás, you accent the A. Okay. And esto is completely irregular, so that one you just need to memorize. Once again, it is irregular, so you just need to memorize these endings. So we'll go over the ending just to conclude this lesson. So ser we use for date, occupation, characteristic, time, origin, and relation. In estar, we use for position, location, action, condition, and emotion. So hopefully that helps a little bit and you can understand when to use which one.